If you enjoy this story, please hit the subscribe button for more inspiring content. I was always the good daughter, the responsible one, the one who got straight A's, never broke curfew, and made my parents proud at every parent-teacher conference. My younger sister, Ashley, was the opposite. She was loud, demanding, and somehow always got exactly what she wanted. I'm Debbie, and I was 24 when everything changed. Ashley was 21, fresh out of college with a useless communications degree and no job prospects. Meanwhile, I'd been working as a nurse for 2 years, had my own apartment, and paid all my own bills. But at every family dinner, Ashley was the star. She'd waltz in late, complain about how hard life was, and Mom would rush to comfort her. Dad would slip her money just to help out. And I'd sit there, the invisible good daughter, wondering why being responsible meant being ignored. The final straw came on a Saturday in October. I'd driven 3 hours to attend Mom's birthday dinner. I'd bought her an expensive gift, a necklace she'd mentioned wanting. I'd taken the weekend off work, losing 2 shifts of pay. Ashley showed up an hour late, empty-handed, wearing a new designer dress I knew she couldn't afford. Mom lit up when she walked in. "Ashley, you look gorgeous. Is that new?" Ashley twirled. "Yeah, I maxed out my credit card, but I deserve to treat myself, right?" No one mentioned that she'd been treating herself on Mom and Dad's credit card for years. No one asked where my gift was or thanked me for driving 3 hours. Dinner was the usual performance. Ashley talked about her journey of self-discovery after college, how she was finding herself and couldn't possibly be expected to work some boring 9-to-5 job. Dad nodded sympathetically. "Take your time, sweetheart. There's no rush." I bit my tongue. I'd started working at 16. Paid for my own car, my own college, my own everything. Ashley had never worked a day in her life, yet somehow she was the one who deserved patience and understanding. After dinner, I was helping Mom clean up when I overheard Ashley and Dad in the living room. "Daddy, I really need a new car. Mine is so old and embarrassing." Her old car was 3 years newer than mine. Dad sighed. "Ashley, I don't know. Money's been tight lately." Ashley's voice turned whiny. "But Debbie has a nice car. It's not fair." I walked into the living room, unable to stay quiet anymore. "Ashley, I bought my car myself. With money I earned working." Ashley rolled her eyes. "Not everyone wants to waste their 20s working some depressing job, Debbie." I felt my face get hot. Nursing isn't depressing. I help people. I save lives. She laughed. "You empty bedpans. Don't act like you're some hero." Mom rushed in from the kitchen. "Girls, please. It's my birthday. Can we not fight?" I looked at Dad, waiting for him to defend me, to say something about Ashley's rudeness or entitlement. He said nothing, just looked uncomfortable. I grabbed my purse. "I'm leaving." Mom looked hurt. "Already? You just got here." I couldn't believe it. "Mom, I drove 3 hours to be here. I brought you a gift." Ashley showed up late, brought nothing, insulted my career, and demanded a new car. "But I'm the problem for leaving." Mom's expression shifted to that familiar one, the one that said I was being difficult. "Debbie, you're the older sister. You should be more understanding. Ashley's going through a hard time." That's when something inside me snapped. Not explosively, quietly, like a thread that had been pulled too tight for too long. "You know what? I'm done. Done being the good daughter who gets nothing but taken for granted. Done watching Ashley get rewarded for being selfish and irresponsible." Dad finally spoke. "Debbie, you're overreacting." I cut him off. "No. I'm finally reacting appropriately. I've been underreacting for 24 years. I walked out, got in my car, drove the 3 hours home, and I made a decision. I was done being the perfect daughter. If being perfect meant being invisible, then I'd rather be anything else. The next week, I didn't call my parents. Usually, I checked in 3 times a week. This time, silence. Mom called me on Wednesday. "Debbie, honey, are you okay? You haven't called." I kept my voice neutral. "I'm fine. Just busy with work." She sighed with relief. "Oh, good. I was worried." "Listen, your father and I were thinking we should all get together for dinner this weekend," I interrupted. "I can't. I have plans." This was a lie. I had no plans. But I was done rearranging my life for family dinners where I was ignored. Mom sounded surprised. Oh, well, maybe next weekend. I said vaguely, maybe. I'll let you know. After we hung up, I felt something unfamiliar. Not guilt, which I'd expected. Freedom. Over the next month, I pulled back from my family. I stopped driving home every other weekend. Stopped sending Ashley money when she texted saying she was desperate. Stopped being available whenever they needed something. And something interesting happened. Nothing. They didn't seem to notice. Or if they did, they didn't care enough to ask why. That should have hurt. Instead, it confirmed what I'd suspected. I'd been giving everything to people who barely noticed I existed. In November, Ashley called me directly. This was unusual. She never called unless she wanted something. Debbie. Hi. How are you? Her voice was fake sweet. I knew this tone. I'm fine. What do you need, Ashley? She laughed nervously. Why do you assume I need something? Can't I just call my sister? I waited silently. She cracked quickly. Okay, fine. I need a favor. A tiny favor. I almost laughed. What favor? She took a breath. So, I met this amazing guy, Brad. He's taking me to this fancy restaurant for our 1-month anniversary, and I need to borrow money for a new dress. Just $200. I'll pay you back. I'd heard that before. Ashley had borrowed over $3,000 from me over the years. I'd never seen a penny back. No. Silence. Then what? I repeated calmly. No. I'm not lending you money. Ashley's voice shifted to outrage. Are you serious? It's only $200. You have a job. I said, exactly. I have a job, which means I have money I earned. You can get a job too. She sputtered. I can't believe you're being so selfish. I'm your sister. I felt that calm certainty again. And you're my sister, who's never paid me back for any of the money you've borrowed. So no, Ashley. Figure it out yourself. I hung up before she could argue. My phone rang again immediately. I declined the call. Then came the texts. Ashley's texts came rapid fire. You're such a bitch. I can't believe you're doing this to me. Wait until Mom and Dad hear how selfish you're being. I turned off my phone and went to work. At the hospital, I took care of patients who actually appreciated me, who thanked me for helping them, who saw my value. It was a stark contrast to my family, where I was just the dependable one who could be taken for granted. That evening, I turned my phone back onto 23 missed calls. 15 from Ashley, 5 from Mom, 3 from Dad, multiple voicemails. I listened to Mom's first. Debbie, Ashley is very upset. She says you refuse to help her with something important. Call me back so we can talk about this. Dad's voicemail was more direct. Debbie, your mother is worried about you. You've been distant lately, and now Ashley says you're refusing to help family. This isn't like you. Call us back. I deleted all the voicemails without listening to the rest. Then I did something I'd never done before. I typed a message in our family group chat. I love you all, but I need space. I won't be attending family dinners or events for a while. I need time to focus on myself. Please respect this boundary. I hit send before I could second-guess myself. The responses came within minutes. Mom, what's wrong, honey? Did something happen? Dad, this is very unlike you, Debbie. Let's talk about whatever's bothering you. Ashley, oh please, you're being so dramatic. This is because I asked to borrow money, isn't it? I responded once more. This isn't about any single event. I need space. I'll reach out when I'm ready. Then I muted the group chat. For the first time in my adult life, I put myself first. The next few weeks were strange. I kept expecting to feel guilty, to cave and call my parents apologizing. But I didn't feel guilty. I felt lighter. I started using my free weekends to do things I enjoyed. I took a pottery class, went hiking, read books, made plans with my own friends instead of always being available for family. My coworker and friend, Jessica, noticed the change. You seem different lately. Happier. I smiled. I stopped trying to please people who don't appreciate me. She raised her glass of wine. Cheers to that. In early December, Mom showed up at my apartment unannounced. I opened the door to find her standing there, looking worried and annoyed in equal measure. Debbie, what is going on with you? You've been ignoring us for over a month. I didn't invite her in. I haven't been ignoring you. I asked for space. There's a difference. She looked taken aback. Space? From your family? That's ridiculous. Family is everything. I leaned against the doorframe. Is it? Because I've spent 24 years being the perfect daughter, and it got me nothing but taken for granted. Mom's eyes widened. That's not true. We appreciate you. I challenged her. When's the last time you thanked me for anything? Or acknowledged that I work hard while Ashley does nothing? Mom's face flushed. Ashley is going through a difficult time. She needs more support right now. I nodded slowly. And when I was going through nursing school, working 2 jobs, barely sleeping, did I need support? Or did I just need to handle it because I'm the responsible one? She looked uncomfortable. That was different. You've always been self-sufficient. I laughed without humor. Self-sufficient? Or just ignored unless you needed something from me? Mom's expression shifted to hurt. How can you say that? We love you. I softened slightly but held firm. I know you love me, Mom. But love isn't enough. I need respect. I need appreciation. I need to stop being the invisible good daughter while Ashley gets praised for doing the bare minimum. She was quiet for a moment. I didn't realize you felt this way. I met her eyes. Because you never asked. After a long, uncomfortable silence, Mom left. I closed the door and felt that same sense of calm certainty. I'd spoken my truth. If she heard it or not was up to her. Christmas approached, and I made another unprecedented decision. I wasn't going home for the holidays. Usually, I'd spend 3 days with my family, playing perfect daughter, watching Ashley get showered with expensive gifts while I got practical ones like socks. This year, I bought a plane ticket to Colorado. I'd always wanted to see the mountains in winter. I was going alone, and I was excited about it. When I told my parents, the reaction was explosive. Dad called me, his voice tight with barely controlled anger. You're not coming home for Christmas? What are we supposed to tell people? I almost laughed at his priorities. Tell them I'm traveling. Because that's what I'm doing. He sputtered. But Christmas is family time. You've never missed Christmas. I said calmly, there's a first time for everything. I'm an adult, Dad. I get to decide how I spend my holidays. He was silent for a moment. Then, your mother is very hurt by this. I felt a twinge of guilt but pushed through it. I'm sorry she's hurt, but I'm doing what's best for me. After we hung up, Ashley called. This time I answered. Let me guess. You're calling to yell at me about Christmas too. She surprised me. Actually, I'm calling because I'm jealous. I blinked. What? Ashley's voice was quieter than usual. You're going to Colorado alone. That's so brave. I could never do that. I didn't know what to say. She continued. Mom's been crying for days. Dad's angry. Everyone's acting like you died or something. It's honestly kind of funny. I smiled despite myself. It's not funny, Ashley. She laughed. It kind of is. You've been perfect your entire life, and the second you do something for yourself, they act like it's the end of the world. That was surprisingly insightful. I didn't think you noticed. Ashley was quiet. I noticed a lot of things. Like how Mom and Dad always expect you to have everything together while I get away with being a mess. This was the most honest conversation I'd ever had with my sister. Why did you call, Ashley? Really? She sighed. Because I wanted to say I'm sorry. For the way I've treated you. For taking advantage of you. For always being the squeaky wheel that gets the grease while you just handled everything quietly. I felt tears prick my eyes. Thank you for saying that. Ashley continued. I'm not saying I'm going to change overnight. I'm still kind of a mess. But I wanted you to know I see you. And I think you're right to take space from all of us. After we hung up, I sat on my couch, processing. Ashley, of all people, understood. Colorado was incredible. I spent Christmas Day skiing alone, ate dinner at a cozy restaurant, and watched the sunset over the mountains. I didn't feel lonely. I felt free. I posted one photo on social media, me at the mountain summit, smiling genuinely. The caption read, Sometimes the best gift you can give yourself is permission to choose your own happiness. Within an hour, the comments flooded in. Friends I hadn't talked to in years. This is so inspiring. Coworkers, you look so happy. And surprisingly, from Ashley. Proud of you, sis. Mom commented too. Beautiful view. Wish you were home. I didn't respond to that one. When I returned home after New Year's, I felt different. Stronger. More certain of who I was and what I deserved. I also returned to 30 missed calls from my parents and a dozen texts asking me to call urgently. I called Mom back, expecting more guilt trips. Instead, she sounded tired. Debbie, we need to talk. Can you come over this weekend? I hesitated. About what? She sighed. About everything. About how we've treated you. Please, just come for dinner. Your father and I have been talking, and we need to say some things. I agreed, curious despite myself. Saturday evening, I drove to my parents' house. Ashley's car was already there. I walked in to find all three of them sitting in the living room, looking uncomfortable. This felt like an ambush. Before you say anything, Dad started, we want to apologize. I sat down slowly, saying nothing. Mom continued, we've spent the past month thinking about what you said. About feeling taken for granted. About being the invisible good daughter. She paused, her eyes red. You were right. I hadn't expected that. Dad nodded. We've been so focused on helping Ashley because she needed it more obviously. But we failed to see that you needed support too. Just different support. Ashley spoke up, surprising me. I told them everything. How I've borrowed money from you and never paid it back. How I've always gotten what I wanted while you got nothing. How unfair it's been. I looked at my sister, really looked at her. She seemed different. Smaller somehow. More humble. Mom continued, we're sorry, Debbie. Truly sorry. We've treated you like you didn't need love and attention because you were so capable. But everyone needs those things. I felt emotions welling up that I'd been pushing down for months. Do you know what it's like to be the good kid? Everyone assumes you're fine because you don't cause problems. No one checks on you because you're self-sufficient. You become invisible unless someone needs something. Tears ran down my face. I've spent my whole life trying to earn your attention by being perfect. And all it got me was taken for granted while Ashley got praised for doing the bare minimum. Dad's voice cracked. You're right. And we're sorry. We can't change the past, but we want to do better. Ashley added, I want to do better too. I'm starting therapy next week. And I got a job. It's just retail, but it's something. I looked at her in surprise. Really? She nodded. Turns out you were right. Having a job and earning my own money feels good. Who knew? Despite everything, I laughed. Mom reached over and took my hand. Can you forgive us? Not right away, but eventually. I thought about it carefully. I don't know. Maybe. But things need to change. Really change. Not just now when you're feeling guilty, but permanently. Dad nodded. What do you need from us? I took a breath. I need you to see me. Not just when it's convenient. Not just when I'm being helpful. I need you to ask how I'm doing and actually listen. I need appreciation, not just expectation. Mom squeezed my hand. We can do that. We will do that. Ashley said quietly, and I'll pay you back. All $3,000. It might take a while, but I will. That dinner was different from any family dinner we'd ever had. We actually talked. About feelings, about resentments, about the family dynamics that had been broken for years. It wasn't perfect. There were awkward moments and lingering tensions. But it was honest. And that was more than we'd ever had before. Over the next few months, things slowly changed. Mom started calling me just to chat, not because she needed something. Dad asked about my work and actually listened to my responses. Ashley got a second job and made her first payment toward the money she owed me, $200 with a note that said, First installment. Thank you for not giving up on me. I didn't immediately jump back into the family fold. I maintained my boundaries. I still spent most weekends on my own or with friends. But I started attending the occasional family dinner again. In March, something happened that showed me how much things had really changed. Ashley called me, crying, Debbie, I need help. Not money, she added quickly. Just advice. I softened. What's wrong? She explained that she'd gotten in over her head with credit card debt. She was scared and didn't know how to handle it. Instead of asking for a handout, she was asking for guidance. I spent 2 hours on the phone with her, helping her create a budget and a payment plan. By the end, she was calmer. Thank you. Really. You're so much better at this adult stuff than me. I smiled. You'll get there. You're already doing better. She was quiet then. I'm sorry it took you almost cutting us off for me to grow up. I thought about that. Maybe I needed to cut you off to grow up too. To learn that being perfect doesn't mean being a doormat. In April, I got promoted at the hospital to charge nurse. It came with a significant raise and more responsibilities. I was excited and proud. I called my parents to share the news. Mom answered, and her reaction was everything I'd always wanted. Debbie, that's incredible. We're so proud of you. She called Dad over, and they both congratulated me genuinely. No comparisons to Ashley. No taking it for granted. Just pure pride in my accomplishment. Dad said, we should celebrate. Let us take you out to dinner. Your choice of restaurant. That weekend, we went to my favorite restaurant, an expensive Italian place I'd always loved. Just me, Mom, and Dad. Ashley was working and couldn't come, but she'd sent a text. Congrats, boss lady. Party popper. At dinner, Dad raised his glass. To Debbie. For working hard, for standing up for herself, and for teaching us all what real strength looks like. I felt tears in my eyes. Thank you, Mom added. We're sorry it took us so long to really see you. But we see you now, honey. And we're so proud of the woman you are. That night, driving home, I realized something. Setting boundaries hadn't destroyed my family. It had saved it. By refusing to be invisible, by demanding respect, I'd forced everyone to see not just me, but themselves. In May, Ashley paid me another $500. She'd been promoted to assistant manager at her retail job. Look at us, she joked over coffee. Both being responsible adults. Who would have thought? I laughed. I always thought it. You just needed to believe it too. She got serious. You know what I realized? I was spoiled because it was easier for Mom and Dad to give me what I wanted than to teach me to work for it. But that wasn't helping me. It was crippling me. I nodded, and I was ignored because I didn't demand attention. But that wasn't noble. It was self-sabotage. Ashley smiled. We both had to grow up. You by learning to speak up. Me by learning to shut up and work. It was funny how trauma could bond people. Ashley and I had never been close growing up. Now we talked regularly. She'd become someone I actually wanted to spend time with, not just someone I was obligated to tolerate. In June, Mom asked if I'd help her plan a surprise party for Dad's 60th birthday. My first instinct was to say no, to protect my boundaries. But then I realized something. Healthy boundaries don't mean shutting people out entirely. They mean engaging on your terms. I'll help, I said, but I can't do all the planning. It needs to be a team effort. Mom agreed immediately. Of course. Ashley and I will handle decorations. You can manage the guest list and invitations. That felt manageable. We planned the party together, and for the first time, it felt collaborative instead of me doing everything while everyone else took credit. The party was a success. Dad was genuinely surprised and happy. During his speech, he said something that made me cry. I want to thank my daughters. Both of them. Ashley for growing into a responsible young woman, and Debbie for teaching us all that being strong doesn't mean suffering in silence. Everyone clapped, but his eyes were on me. After the party, Dad pulled me aside. I'm proud of you, Debbie. Not just for your accomplishments, but for having the courage to tell us we were failing you. I hugged him. Thank you for listening. He pulled back, looking serious. I need to tell you something. Your mother and I have been in therapy. I was surprised. Really? He nodded. After you cut us off at Christmas, we realized we had no idea how to be parents to an adult child who didn't need us. We'd built our whole parenting identity around fixing Ashley's problems. When you didn't have problems to fix, we didn't know how to relate to you. This was more insight than I'd expected. And therapy is helping. He smiled. It's helping us understand that both our daughters needed us, just in different ways. And that we failed you by not seeing that. I felt something release in my chest. They were really trying. Really changing. By August, Ashley had paid me back $1,500, half of what she owed. She was dating someone new, a guy named Tom who had a steady job and seemed to ground her. She'd also started taking online classes in business management. I figured if I'm going to work retail, I might as well learn how to run a store, she explained. I was genuinely proud of her. The sister who'd been a spoiled mess a year ago was becoming someone ambitious and self-sufficient. In September, something unexpected happened. My younger cousin Emma, who'd always looked up to Ashley, called me. "Debbie, can I talk to you about something?" Emma was 19 and in her second year of college. She explained that her parents were pressuring her to major in business when she wanted to study art. "Everyone says art is impractical, that I'll never make money. They want me to be realistic." I thought about my own journey. "Emma, can I tell you something? Being practical got me respect from my family only after I stopped trying to earn it by being perfect." She sounded confused. "I don't understand." I explained my story. How I'd been the good daughter for years and been invisible. How I'd finally set boundaries and demanded respect. "The point is, you can't live your life trying to please other people, even people you love, because their approval will never be enough if you're not doing what makes you happy." Emma was quiet. Then, "Did your family eventually come around?" I smiled. "Yes, but only after I stopped needing them to." We talked for another hour. I encouraged her to follow her passion, but also to have a backup plan. To be practical without giving up her dreams. After we hung up, I realized I'd become the person I'd needed when I was younger. Someone who told me it was okay to put myself first. In October, exactly 1 year after Mom's birthday dinner where everything changed, we had another family gathering. This time, it felt completely different. Ashley brought Tom, who was polite and genuinely kind. Mom and Dad were relaxed, not stressed about managing everyone's emotions. And I was there by choice, not obligation. During dinner, Mom raised her glass. "I want to make a toast to this past year. It's been hard and painful and necessary." She looked at me. "Debbie, thank you for having the courage to walk away. It was the wake-up call this family needed." Ashley added, "To Debbie for showing me what real strength looks like." Dad finished, "To all of us for being willing to grow and change, even when it hurts." We clinked glasses, and I felt genuine warmth. This was what family should feel like. Not perfect, but honest. Not easy, but real. After dinner, Ashley and I did dishes together. She was quiet for a moment, then said, "Can I ask you something?" I nodded. "When you walked away last year, were you scared we wouldn't change? That you'd lose us forever?" I thought about it honestly. Yes, but I was more scared of losing myself by staying in a dynamic that was killing me slowly. She nodded. "That makes sense. I'm glad you did it. I'm glad you forced us all to be better." I bumped her shoulder. "I'm glad you rose to the occasion." She laughed. "Barely. I'm still kind of a mess." I smiled. "We're all kind of a mess. The difference is you own it now." In November, I got unexpected news. The hospital was opening a new wing, and they wanted me to head the nursing team. It was a massive opportunity with a significant salary increase. I'd be overseeing 20 nurses and managing a department. I accepted immediately. When I told my family, their reaction was exactly what I'd always wanted. Pride. Genuine, uncomplicated pride. Mom cried happy tears. Dad beamed. Ashley screamed and hugged me. This was what validation felt like. Not because I was perfect, but because I was valued. The new position started in January. It was challenging and exhausting, but I loved it. I was finally being recognized for my competence and leadership. In February, Ashley paid me the final $1,000 she owed. "I can't believe I actually did it," she said, handing me the check. 2 years of payments, but I did it. I was proud of her. "You did? How does it feel?" She grinned. "Like I'm actually an adult. A real one, not just pretending." She'd been promoted to store manager and was making decent money. She and Tom had moved in together. She was building a life she was proud of. I realized that my setting boundaries hadn't just helped me. It had forced Ashley to grow up. By not enabling her, I'd given her the chance to become self-sufficient. In March, Emma called me again. "Debbie, I did it. I switched my major to art with a business minor. My parents were upset at first, but I stood firm." I smiled. "How do you feel?" She laughed. "Terrified but excited. I'm doing what I love, but I'm also being practical. Just like you suggested." I felt proud. I was helping the next generation avoid the mistakes I'd made. In April, 2 years after everything changed, Mom called me. "Debbie, your father and I want to do something for you." to show our appreciation. I was immediately wary. Mom, you don't need to do anything. She insisted. Please, let us do this. We've spent years taking you for granted. Let us show you we don't anymore. I agreed cautiously. The following weekend, my parents took me to a spa for the day. Just the three of us. We got massages, facials, and spent time in the relaxation room. It was peaceful and thoughtful. During lunch, Mom said something that made me emotional. When you walked away 2 years ago, I was angry. I thought you were being selfish. But you weren't. You were being self-preserving. And watching you set those boundaries taught me something. I waited for her to continue. It taught me that love without respect is hollow. We loved you, but we didn't respect your needs. Now we do both. Dad added, You're our daughter, but you're also a remarkable woman. We should have seen that sooner. I wiped my eyes. Thank you for saying that. Mom squeezed my hand. Thank you for not giving up on us. You could have walked away forever. Instead, you gave us a chance to be better. That evening, I drove home feeling lighter than I had in years. My family wasn't perfect. Neither was I. But we were honest now. Real. Present with each other. In May, Ashley got engaged to Tom. She called me, screaming with excitement. He proposed. Debbie, he proposed. I was genuinely happy for her. Congratulations. Tell me everything. As she described the proposal, I heard something in her voice I'd never heard before. Maturity. Genuine happiness that wasn't dependent on material things or attention. She'd grown into someone I actually admired. Debbie, I want you to be my maid of honor. I was surprised. Really? Ashley laughed. Of course, really. You're my sister. And honestly, you're the reason I'm in a place where I can actually be in a healthy relationship. You taught me accountability. I felt tears welling up. I'd be honored. Planning Ashley's wedding was different from anything I expected. She was organized, considerate, and didn't act like a bridezilla. She set a realistic budget and stuck to it. She asked for input instead of demanding things. She truly changed. During a dress shopping trip, just the two of us, Ashley got serious. Debbie, I need to tell you something. Something I've never said. I looked at her in the mirror. She took a breath. I was jealous of you my entire life. I blinked in surprise. What? Why? She smiled sadly. Because you were good at everything. Smart, responsible, capable. I was the screw-up. And instead of trying to be better, I leaned into it. Being the spoiled princess was easier than trying to compete with perfect Debbie. I'd never considered this perspective. She continued, but it made me weak. I didn't develop any real skills or character. When you walked away and Mom and Dad stopped enabling me, I had to face that. It was terrifying and necessary. I reached over and squeezed her hand. You're not weak now. She smiled. No, I'm not. Thanks to you. The wedding was in July. Beautiful and simple. Ashley looked radiant. During her reception speech, she shocked everyone. I want to thank my sister, Debbie. 2 years ago, she did something brave. She walked away from a family dynamic that was toxic for her. Ashley continued. At the time, I was angry. I thought she was being dramatic. But she wasn't. She was being strong. And her strength forced me to find my own. She looked at me, tears streaming down her face. Debbie, you saved me by refusing to save me. By letting me fail and figure things out myself. I wouldn't be standing here as a functional adult, marrying an amazing man, if you hadn't had the courage to say enough. The room was silent. Then everyone applauded. I was crying. After the wedding, during the quiet cleanup, Mom found me. That speech Ashley gave, it made me realize something. I waited. She said quietly, I failed both of you in different ways. I spoiled Ashley and ignored you. I'm sorry it took losing you to see that. I hugged her. We're here now. That's what matters. She pulled back. You know what I admire most about you? You didn't become bitter. You set boundaries, but you also left room for us to grow. Not everyone would do that. I thought about that. I wanted to be bitter. Part of me wanted to punish you all. But I realized that punishing you would also punish me. By keeping the door open, I gave us all a chance at something better. In August, I got more unexpected news. I was offered a director position at a hospital in the city. It would mean relocating, more responsibility, and significantly more money. It was everything I'd worked toward professionally. But it meant leaving my family right when we'd finally built something healthy. I agonized over the decision. Finally, I called a family meeting. When I told them about the offer, Mom's first instinct was visible panic. But she caught herself and said, "What do you want to do?" I appreciated that question. Not "you should stay," or "think of the family." Just asking what I wanted. I want to take it. It's an incredible opportunity. But I'm scared of losing what we've built here. Dad smiled. "Debbie, what we've built isn't dependent on physical proximity. It's built on respect, honesty, and genuine care. That travels." Ashley nodded. "Plus, it's only 3 hours away. We can visit, video chat. You've spent your whole life putting everyone else first. Take the job, Debbie." Mom squeezed my hand. "We'll miss you, but we're proud of you. Go be amazing." I took the job. In September, I moved to the city. My family helped me move, all of them. Mom and Dad rented a truck. Ashley and Tom drove my car. We made a day of it, and it felt like an adventure rather than a goodbye. Setting up my new apartment, Ashley said, "Look at you. Big city, big job, big life. You did it." I smiled. We both did it. You're married, managing a store, being a responsible adult. I'm not the only one who grew. She hugged me. We grew up together. Just took us until our 20s to do it. After everyone left, I sat in my new apartment, feeling content. Scared, but content. This was my life on my terms. The director position was challenging. I oversaw 3 departments, managed a staff of 60, and dealt with hospital politics. But I loved it. I was making decisions, leading teams, and making a real impact. My family stayed in touch. Regular calls, video chats, weekend visits. But it was different now. Healthy. No guilt trips about missing family dinners. No obligations. Just genuine connection when we both wanted it. In November, 3 years after everything changed, I flew home for Thanksgiving. It was the first major holiday we'd all spent together since I'd left. Walking into my parents' house felt different. I wasn't the invisible good daughter anymore. I was Debbie, seen, valued, appreciated. During dinner, Dad asked everyone to share something they were grateful for. Mom went first. "I'm grateful for second chances. For children who love you enough to tell you when you're wrong." Dad said, "I'm grateful for growth, for learning that it's never too late to be better." Ashley smiled at Tom. "I'm grateful for finding someone who loves me for who I am, not what I pretend to be." Then she looked at me. "And for a sister who loved me enough to let me fail." Tom added, "I'm grateful for honest families, the kind that work through hard stuff instead of pretending everything's fine." They all looked at me. I took a breath. I'm grateful for finding my voice, for learning that setting boundaries doesn't mean you don't love someone. It means you love yourself too. Mom wiped her eyes. "We're all grateful for you, Debbie, for your courage." After dinner, Ashley and I walked around the old neighborhood. She was 3 months pregnant, something she just announced at dinner. "Can you believe it?" she said, touching her stomach. Me about to be a mom. The girl who couldn't take care of herself 2 years ago. I smiled. "You're going to be great. You've grown so much." She stopped walking. "Debbie, I need to ask you something. Will you be my baby's godmother?" I felt tears spring to my eyes. "Really?" She nodded. "You're the strongest woman I know. If something happens to me, I want my kid to learn from you, to see what real strength and independence look like." I hugged her tight. "Of course. I'd be honored." We stood there on the sidewalk, 2 sisters who'd barely tolerated each other 3 years ago, now genuinely close. "You know what's funny?" Ashley said. "What?" She smiled. "Everyone always said I was the lucky one. The pretty one, the fun one, the one who got everything she wanted. But you were the lucky one all along." I raised an eyebrow. "How do you figure?" Ashley looked serious. "Because you knew who you were. You had to work for everything, which made you strong. I got everything handed to me, which made me weak. I had to lose everything. Your support, Mom and Dad's enabling, my safety net, to figure out who I actually am." I thought about that. Maybe we were both lucky in different ways. I learned strength through struggle. You learned it through losing your crutches. We both ended up in better places. She nodded. Yeah, but I wish I'd figured it out sooner. We wasted a lot of years not really knowing each other. I squeezed her hand. We know each other now. That's what matters. Flying back to the city Sunday evening, I reflected on how much had changed in 3 years. I'd gone from invisible good daughter to respected professional. Ashley had gone from spoiled princess to responsible adult. My parents had gone from enablers to supportive parents. We'd all grown. All changed. All become better versions of ourselves. And it had started with one thing: me refusing to be perfect anymore. By walking away, by setting boundaries, by demanding respect, I'd forced everyone to look at themselves honestly. It hadn't been easy. There had been tears, anger, painful conversations, and months of distance. But it had been necessary. My phone buzzed with a text from Mom. Safe flight, honey. Love you. So proud of who you've become. I smiled and typed back. Love you too. Thanks for being willing to grow with me. That was the key, I realized. Growth. Not perfection. Not being the good daughter or the bad daughter. Just being real, honest, and willing to evolve. I'd spent 24 years trying to earn love through perfection. It had taken me walking away to learn that real love doesn't need to be earned. It needs to be mutual, respectful, and honest. Looking out the airplane window at the clouds below, I thought about young Debbie, the girl who'd bitten her tongue at family dinners, who'd watched her sister get everything while she got nothing, who'd been invisible in her own family. I wished I could tell her that it would all work out, that standing up for herself would be scary but worth it, that her family would eventually see her, that she'd become someone she was proud of, but maybe she'd needed to figure it out herself. Just like Ashley had needed to fail to find her strength. Just like my parents had needed to lose me temporarily to appreciate me. Just like I'd needed to walk away to find myself. 3 years ago, I'd been the perfect daughter. Invisible, taken for granted, silently suffering. Now I was just Debbie. Flawed, strong, respected, valued. And that was so much better than perfect. As the plane landed, I felt excited about my life. My career was thriving. My family was healthy. My relationship with Ashley had transformed into genuine friendship. I was finally living for myself instead of for everyone else's approval. And it had all started with one decision: to stop being perfect and start being real. Sometimes the best thing you can do for yourself and for the people you love is to walk away. Not forever. Just long enough for everyone to remember why you matter. I was the good daughter who got nothing until I stopped being good and started being honest. And that made all the difference. If this story resonated with you and inspired you to set your own boundaries, please hit the subscribe button for more empowering stories. Remember, you don't have to be perfect to be valuable. Sometimes being real is the bravest thing you can do.